Fellas, we gotta talk. A lot of men seem to think that Donald Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton. He whines like a baby. The guy's afraid of birds. Donald Trump had his daddy pay a doctor to say his little feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut. Like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. I mean, look how he drinks water. Like a little pink chickadee. He's got jugs. Big ones. Like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms. You know that little dance he does? He looks like he's jacking off a pair of giraffes. He's moody, he pouts, he throws tantrums.
No, get those lights off!
He acts like a 5-year-old behind the wheel of a truck. He bends over for Putin. He's cattier on social media than a middle school bean kernel. The guy needs help walking downhill. Almost there, Grandma. This November, let's stop kidding ourselves. Donald Trump is afraid of rain, of dogs, of windmills, Merle Street.
This is Black News.
Happy Saturday, y'all. Welcome to the Saturday Sit Down with your man, the talented Gregory the talented Mr. Drayton. Come on in and sat down around the table with me and the homies today. I will deliver the Black News as seen by me because I watch the news so you don't have to. Each and every Saturday, I drag along the homies and to talk about this and that from sneakers and hats, but everything is on our minds. This for the next 17 days will be the election. Thank you for joining me, as you always do. And I would like to introduce you to my esteemed panel. The different levels of beard action going on here. Bald head beards and beards with beards on butterfly wings and other things. My man right here, Malcolm the Philosopher King, Wednesday nights on the Philosopher King himself. We had a really good time last Wednesday. Tune in at this very network. Hey, man, how are you?
Hey, happy Saturday. It's only 17 days. It's
17. 17. And I was reminded, she has only been the nominee since June.
Yeah. And it's still too long. It's just like, I'm so nervous. And
are you nervous?
Yeah, I am. Even though I feel she's going to win, it's still just nerve-wracking that it's still close. Yeah.
What I tell you should make you feel better. You live by an M&M factory, sir.
It's true.
Because if she loses, I'm coming to your house and binge eat. I'm not gonna have any teeth by the time
I'm Reese's Pieces.
Right. By the time I'm going to be toothless and diabetic.
Yeah.
Oh man! And one of my favorite places on earth, the great state of Texas. One of the bluer spots in Texas. He's down there in that area. My man, the writer of great erotic fiction. I never fancied myself like a fan of erotic fiction or porn like that. But you write some good stuff. Good stuff. Check them on the internet, find out you can get yours. There you go. Jay, look at that picture.
Look at that.
And that sexy daddy on the beach. Look at him. That's all his knowing him right there. Now he's not gonna give you what John gave you, Red Shorts. He's a father. You'll be a little more respectful with it, but you'll get a good story out of him. Jay Hugh, how all right.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. How are you, buddy?
Who are we talking to? Me or
you? How are you?
Oh, I'm well in the land of red colored, blue covered blue. It's all good.
It's gonna be- I want to come to you a little later on about the state of the race of Colin Allred. He is
We had a little a debate this past week. So
I saw a clip. Yeah.
Indeed.
We're gonna talk about that a little later. But I tell you, as the race goes on, he gets yummier and yummier. I don't know who makes all his clothes, who makes the suits.
they're a little tight. I will admit they're a little tight. I don't know whether you should
A little tight. I saw that nigga heartbeat last week. I was like, whoa. Now he turned around. No,
He got body though, you know.
Say what,
I mean,
Yeah, you gotta
set
show
him
out.
beside Ted Cruz. I mean, who's who? I mean, come on now.
Motherfucker turned around on the podium before he shook the hands. He looked like he was smuggling 2 hams in his pants. I was like, it's fucking ridiculous. I was like, you know what? He gonna win because them white women are horny in Texas. He's a former, he's an ex-football player.
With that bald head, and he light skinned in it too.
You know he just smell like Ivory soap or some shit like that. You're right. He'd be like, what's your economic plan, D? Right. What you got? What's your board of defense? That's what I want to know. Now, in a bunker 6 leagues below the sea in a state undisclosed. I know where it is because I was blind. Well, I don't know because I was blindfolded when I was taking that.
At a gunpoint by a cat. But-
Right. I was greeted by the cat. Cat daddy, bag daddy, daddy of the production, all things, my man. Tuesday nights on Swag for Life, 7 p.m. on this very network. Join him as he makes you laugh. We find out what that badass Murder Mittens is watching on the internet. You know, he sleeps. Your cat sleeps like he works at night. I'm concerned.
Speaking of sleeping, he is comfortably knocked out right now.
Because he's a party cat. He likes to party.
Right. He was up all night.
How are you today?
I am doing well. As a matter of fact, he was up partying late so much, and God knows what he was getting into because he puked this morning on the floor.
Drunk.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the hangover's kicking in, huh? Hit that catnip a little too hard, didn't you?
The catnip out. You got to put that up.
Right.
I'm gonna have to lock it up.
Watch your cats. Black Cat is on the loose. Everybody, we are 17 days away from Election Day. We're in the middle. I love how America went from Election Day to election season. This is fantastic. Well, we do have a little bit of news to cover before we get to state of the race. In overseas news, the Israeli IDF. Oh, excuse me, coffee repeating on me. Shit. IDF did bomb an apartment building or a residence, something like that, and they got the leader of Hamas. I love to say his name, Yahya Siwa. Is that it? Is it Yahya? What is it? Now this one, he looks like a dastardly villain. Rest in peace. I was like, yeah. A little bit about his past. He was in a Israeli prison for 22 years, where he learned everything about the Israeli culture. He learned about Judaism just so he can antagonize them. And he said in an interview in jail in about 20 years ago, they will pay. Infidels, you will pay. So, you know, that's what he did. And he was principally responsible for October the 7th. In response, Bibi Netanyahu, because you would think, okay, you got the leader, you got the last 3 of them, your opponent is weakened, but Bibi Netanyahu says yet on that he will keep up with the aggressions. The families of the hostages that are still believed to be kept by Hamas their families are worried about. They are in danger. So, John, we were talking about this earlier. Where do you stand on this?
One of the big things to keep in mind, and I listened to something this week or earlier this week of Yahya wanting, because he was almost captured in January of 21, and they found a lot of money, but they also found a laptop that showed some files about how he had planned that and how he had wanted to spark a regional war, and he wanted Iran and Hamas to join them to have a consolidated effort in the initial kickoff, which didn't happen. But now we see where we are. Israel isn't backing down. They want a complete security border around Israel, and that's going to take in Lebanon, part of Jordan, all of the Palestinian areas. So I don't know where it's going to end, to be honest.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't. Malcolm, did you have some views you wanted to share?
I mean, I'm still, I'm curious as to the intelligence it adds to the planning of October 7th, like where all of the equipment and planning came in such a secure area. And so what was Iran behind that? And I don't know. It's just it's a lot. And I think it's one of those things where I think you learn a lot more some years out. But I'm just kind of taking it all in and just
just kind of wait and see mode.
Yeah.
I get it. Well, we do know that Bibi and the state of Israel were paying them by proxy. So I don't know. And just full disclosure, Bibi has his own legal battles. Once the war is over, he was in the middle of going to court. Swag, you want to add anything to that, brother? You look a little disgusted. You're like, oh, what the fuck? Let it be over. Yeah.
No,
cool.
I mean,
No.
Israel, Israel is what Israel is. I can't really do that, but
yeah. I don't want to come off as anti-Semitic or not supporting Israel, but they picked a leader that's kind of horrible. So, well, not kind of. He's the fucking Antichrist. So where the Biden administration has finally delivered an ultimatum. You got, and I think it's more about the election than anything else. But they finally delivered an ultimatum. You got 30 days or bitch else. So we'll see what the bitch else is in a few minutes. But watch.
Before we go on, I'm glad you said what you said, because I do feel like a lot of people do want to call you anti-Semitic if you do not support what Israel is doing to the Palestinians. Like like a lot of us say, Israel has a right to defend itself.
They do.
But at the same time, just because we criticize maybe some of the things that they're doing doesn't necessarily make you anti-Semitic, because, two things can be true at once.
That's right. I feel like if you're getting my tax dollars, I can say what the fuck I want to say. And dear Israel, you have picked an awful leader in Bibi. That has nothing to do about my support for Jewish people or the fact that they have the right to defend themselves. You do. But just like we have to look at ourselves as a country, say, how the fuck did we get the orange guy? They have to look at themselves and how to get Bibi. Right. We had enough sense thus far not to re-elect Trump. Notice what I said, Malcolm.
Yeah, I'm gonna say we're pretty close to re-electing him. So
yeah,
he shouldn't even be a nominee. He should be in jail. So
he should. Aaron, hey man, are you in your truck or are you at home? Finally, this brother always watching us from work. I'm like, ooh, I need your job. You can't be anti-Semitic if you're the Semitic people. I said what I said. Cancel me. Ooh.
No cancellation, sir. You are 100% correct.
Feisty. I like it. You're right. When they come get you, I'm gonna be like, he said what he said. he said what the fuck he said. And I think, listen, I don't. Oh, okay, cool. Very good, very good. Listen, welcome, baby, welcome. Listen, I don't, it's really hard to walk that fine line. And I don't, because I'll get letters and people are talking to me online right now. But it's like, oh, what the fuck? No, it does not make you anti-Semitic if you do not want to see a country led by an asshole, aka this one. Right. So I think in the ultimatum, America says, listen, Biden administration says, listen, because he stopped listening to UK, he stopped listening to everybody, he's just off. But you can't have my money and not take my advice. And I know it's a little too late for the near future. But listen, you can't run your ship without my money, just on period. And I think what some Americans are saying is we have to rein this in. We cannot give them a blank check. We wouldn't do it to any other country. If any other country did not support our views, we would have an issue. And right at this particular moment, Israel is not in line with our views. Just on period, I said what I said. Now, watch this space of what's happening in the Middle East. Please pay attention because it is important. I feel like with Putin is on march in Europe. I feel like all those things kind of work, and North Korea is fast becoming a nuclear power. They're enriching uranium as we speak. So, yeah. And be clear who we want in office with all these things, all these, hands are. We need stable leadership. And if the person that dances for 30 minutes is your idea of jerking off giraffes, this number right here.
Yeah.
I've never seen that clip. It was very, very.
You know what? Fuck it, Swag. Can you run it by yourself before we move on to the state of the race? This is the state of the race. Run that shit for me. If you have this, Dave broke it down perfectly. And if you want to know in a nutshell what the state of the race is, we're gonna go over different things that happened this week in the state of the race. But if you want to know what the state of the race is, check this out. In case you missed it.
Fellas, we gotta talk. A lot of men seem to think that Donald Trump is some kind of tough guy. He's not. I mean, look at him. He wears more makeup than Dolly Parton. He whines like a baby. The guy's afraid of birds. Donald Trump had his daddy pay a doctor to say his Will feet hurt so he could dodge the draft. Look at that gut. Like a garbage bag full of buttermilk. He sells imaginary baseball cards pretending to be a cowboy fireman. Guy's barely strong enough to hold an umbrella. I mean, look how he drinks water. Like a little pink chickadee. He's got jugs. Big ones. Like Dolly Parton. He cheats at golf. He creeps around beauty pageant dressing rooms. You know that little dance he does? He looks like he's jacking off a pair of giraffes.
This is positive so people can get the visual.
Oh God! Forever seared in my brain.
In case you missed the top of the show, Keith. Good morning. Right. Oh, my goodness. Just in case you missed the top of the show, some of you know we had to eat breakfast and stuff. Bring that for next week.
And we're sorry if that clip made your breakfast come back up.
Boy, we do cater to a certain, so we know our audience is at brunch. Yes, we know we're having mimosas right now. Thick. Out here, thick and grooving. All right, y'all. We're now going to talk about my favorite thing because I'm a politics junkie. The state of the race. 17 days left until November the 5th, the year of our Lord 2024, which is the end of the election season. Let me tell y'all something. we asking y'all to go vote. Y'all is voting. Y'all is voting like ain't nobody voted before. When they said them people be voting, people be voting. You got to go ahead and run something that you got for me. People is voting, baby. They voting.
NBC News poll finds just more than half of likely voters plan to cast their ballots early in Georgia. The Secretary of State's office says a record 328,000 people cast ballots on the first day of early voting. What does early voting tell us and not tell us?
Don't read anything into any of these trends, please. An election day vote counts the same as an early in-person vote or a mail vote. We know from the polling and we know through history that Kamala Harris is very likely going to win that mail vote. We know the early in-person vote is going to be very, very close. A point in this poll, I can find a few polls, in fact, where Trump is ahead in that. But we know that Donald Trump is going to crush the election day vote. And it doesn't matter when the vote is cast. They all count the same. One vote counts for one vote, whether it's cast today or whether it is cast on November 5th.
There are trends, though, that you can compare when you're talking about early voting, mail voting, in-person voting.
You can try. You could certainly try. But remember where we were 4 years ago? There was a pandemic. The bottom line is this. There's no discernible baseline in most of these states because in 2020, 69% of the vote was cast early, in person, or by mail. This year, we're looking at maybe about 52%. Even the components of that early vote are going to change because the mail vote is going to be way down. Here's a projection, 23% for this year compared to 43% 4 years ago. The early in-person vote could actually go up. That's what the NBC News poll is suggesting, 29% versus 26% 4 years ago. But the overall complexion and the overall number of folks who are going to cast a ballot before Election Day is going to go way down. But the way they're going to do it is very likely going to change.
Now, I want to let your America know he ate all those words that he said. Because right now we're at 1.5 million early votes. So he yesterday ate every goddamn word he said. And I'm running that clip on purpose. Because because he was real arrogant with it. You know what I mean? Like, she's on to something. You know, we were talking about if you are nervous about this race, let me tell you something. What's going to win this race and what mistakes Hillary made in 16. Because we're not in 16. First of all, a Black and South Asian woman has been our vice president for nearly 4 years. So we've seen her. And then now we've had a chance for the last, I don't know, since June, 4 months, to reimagine her as something else. She stood up there with a good silk press and barely there makeup. You know what I'm saying? She's been rocking kitten heels and Chuck Taylors. I love it. Those suits are well tailored. Unlike Hillary, she didn't go to a tailor. Somebody, I'm being real gay and petty right now, but somebody told one of Kamala's gays, Jay Fitz, told her, girl, put a little bit of makeup on. Johnny, what's going on, baby? We talking about Kamala's silk press and her little bit of barely there makeup. And how she them suits. Them suits is tailored, baby. She look like she ready to go to work. Them suits are tailored and they are not Jones, New York. She is on it. And so what is mattering now is ground game. But we're going to now talk about she is doing everything everywhere all at once. Last week found us seeing her on Fox. She did 3 different events in Wisconsin on yesterday. She did a Republicans for Harris the hour before she did the Fox interview. She ran right through the Fox interview, and we found Brett Baer was supposed to be there. I don't know, Walter Cronkite, if you will, just indulge me. He's supposed to be fair and balanced, and I am the flagship for this brand. He was rude. He kept interrupting her, but watch this space because she was time enough for his ass, as my mama would say. Watch this.
Asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated when he's speaking about the American people. That's not what you just showed.
Well, he was asked about that specific...
No, that's not what you just showed. In all fairness and respect to you,
that was the question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that. And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the President of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it.
Bear just used a soundbite to try to clear Donald Trump of saying a thing in which he cut out the part where he says it. Watch.
It is the enemy from within, and they're very dangerous. They're Marxists and communists and fascists, and they're sick. I use a guy like Adam Schiff because they made up the Russia hoax. It took 2 years to solve the problem. Absolutely nothing was done wrong, et cetera, et cetera. They're dangerous for our country. We have China, we have Russia, we have all these countries. If you have a smart president, they can all be handled. The more difficult are, the Pelosi's, these people, they're so sick. And they're so evil. If they would spend their time trying to make America great again, it would be so easy to make this country great. But when I heard about that, they were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
All right.
They're the threat to democracy.
Yeah, I loved it. Let's start with John. What are your thoughts on that? Double J, sorry.
Well, Fox got exposed as they always do, and now he had to come and apologize and eat crow.
That was the weakest apology ever. He did, full disclosure, he did come back a couple of days later after they ran clips of her being the angry black woman. Now this is what they call it was live to tape. So yet and still after allegedly the wrong clip was ran, Malcolm, they still had time to go back and correct it. I love it. And then the day after that, he went on Fox and Friends and he would like to close the Department of Education. And if the guy that was hosting Fox and Friends wanted to retire, he could have the job.
Now, speaking of that clip where he said he would disband the Department of Education if that school district taught something about slavery. Let's get the whole
yes, sir,
phrase out there. I just looked at that coon that sat on the other end just to see if he was going to react. That pigeon just stood there and just...
Yeah.
Exactly.
He made a face.
No, it was blank. It wasn't a face of reaction or hold on. No, him and Harris Faulkner, they just give me my sciatica. They just make it hurt.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Powerful and painful.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry about that. So in case you missed the clip about what he said about the Department of Education, the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump, said he would like to close the Department of Education. He would like to, and to fund those only teach things that he agreed with. Good morning. For example, if, and I quote, if you teach that this country was built on the backs of slaves and all that jazz and all that stuff that they teach, unquote, we will not fund your school. So
Yeah.
I don't, Malcolm. I don't even know what to say about that. And you know, we allegedly, we don't. So I'll get into this in a minute, but they keep saying we have a black people problem. Harris has, he does not. That is made up from them. I'll start with you, Malcolm. Where are you on this?
Yeah, I think it's interesting if we went back like a month or 6 weeks ago and, you know, people were saying that she should do interviews. I remember even John saying that she should go on Fox News, and we were like, no, you know, she doesn't need to do that. I guess we underestimated her. Like, she's even overperforming what we thought she was.
Look at John's face.
I mean, I mean, she killed it. I don't know how else to say it. Like it. I mean, Red Bear was tough, but she handled it.
It was tough.
Yeah. She handled it really well.
Shoot, I felt like my mama for a minute catching me stealing. So that way she handled him.
Right. She was like, wait a minute. Right.
I still say she's like the Lisa Simpson. She has been studying whatever. She's been preparing for this moment.
Right.
For a while, and she's ready.
I feel
and it's funny you say that, because even Fox said, like, it seems like she was prepared for my questions. Isn't that what you're supposed to do during the interview? Prepare, like, you're dealing with somebody who prepares for things, not like the other guy who never prepares for anything, who just flies off stuff.
And then they criticize you for being on message, right? And what was
right, exactly.
Malcolm,
like, how dare you be on message and prepare for my questions? How dare you, madam?
So, Fitz, what did you get to see the interview live, or you saw it back in clips?
Actually, I did see it live.
Okay.
And the setup for that clip didn't make any sense, because when I saw it, I was like, I don't, you know. So I was confused. I was like, that's an odd clip to show for what question he asked. But the one thing, and I'd like to hit on something you had said, as far as the angry black woman trope, it doesn't stick to her in this particular election cycle, because all the stuff that's thrown at her is so clearly disrespectful and everything else, that if she didn't come off with a little bit of anger, there would be some things to say about it that would be worse. So that stuff's not sticking this time.
Right.
As far as the Department of Education, remember who he put in as the Secretary of Education under his
name? Betsy DeVos.
Betsy.
Yes. Dumb as a box of rocks, yet she's gonna run the Department of Education.
Betsy, how can we forget? So I want everybody. So I have been posting my work. Well, not my favorite Trump memory from his presidency, but I've been posting things I remember from, and hashtag I remember. So if you guys can join me in that, like today for me, it's gonna be, remember when Trump told us to drink bleach, you know, or take hydroxychloroquine? Yeah, that was fun. Or remember when we lost hundreds of thousands of black people because he lied about COVID. I remember. I don't know if you remember, and I don't remember the economy being so great. I remember couldn't find toilet paper to wipe my ass. That's not great. I remember. So speaking of that, so she was also this week. It just seems so far away. She also did Charlemagne the God this week. Charlemagne, and she did a audio only. You know, she took calls and everything just from the general public. It wasn't set up with all her supporters, because at the same time she did the interview on Fox, Fox also the day before, at the same time after that, did a pseudo. I don't want to call these things what they label them as, because they're not. It was clearly a setup. It was a propaganda thing. It was all white women. They were all Trump supporters, but it was billed as a woman town hall.
Yes.
With all, we're gonna get into a real town hall in a few minutes. Oh my God. And, you know, I think ever since Swag saw this, he couldn't wait. He's like,
I can't wait to show this clip.
Right, and this particular town hall with the women, all the women happen to be white women except Faulkner herself, and
Mhm.
and
they were all Republican.
They were all Republican.
Mhm.
But she went on Charlamagne the God. Charlamagne the God, they ask her things, and somebody says, "Well, why do you say the same?" And Charlamagne the God asked her, "Why do you say the same thing over and over again?" People say you need to say something different. And she simply answered, "It's called being on message." And I said that to say that's what it's called, and that's one reason why I didn't want to go stand my ass outside today, because I got a RSVP to the rally. It's going to be over at the amphitheater. And I was like, I don't want to stand outside. But
I got that invite too.
yeah, and so I was gonna go. I just told Swag I was gonna go if it was inside. You know what I mean? But I do not want to go to the amphitheater. You got to walk 55 blocks from. You know what I mean? It's just not into here or here.
Ursha gonna be there.
Okay, if Ursha mama was passing out gold blocks. And the thing about Atlanta is, John, you know this, you got to prepare. Like, you can't just drop some shit on a motherfucker the morning before. You know what I mean? Like, this takes some preparation. You got to figure out, even if you're going to catch an Uber over there. You know what I mean? Still. But all this, she was in so many places this week, I lost my list. So she did. I did, Mark. It was like, fuck! And I was going to call you, but I was like, he ain't going to follow this shit. He's not going to. So I had to go back. So she did 3 events in Wisconsin. She did 3, and Obama was in Nevada yesterday, so that was 4. So today she's going to be in Atlanta with Ursha. With Ursha. And Ursha. Right. And Governor Walz is in North Cackalack with Lizzo.
Oh, I don't get that, but okay.
With Lizzo. The kids love Lizzo. That's what it is.
Okay. It's good for them.
I never understood the popularity of Lizzo, but I like Lizzo. I like that body positive. I can
It'll get her in trouble. But go ahead, move along.
I love it. Speaking of North Carolina, so Swag had me busting out laughing. He got an invite to the Malcolm. He got an invite to the rally of the gubernatorial
Mark Robinson.
Oh, wow.
Fits
I
you.
said, what?
Wonderful.
He's still in the race.
Yes, he's still he has no shot of winning, but because okay, so so first off, his threat about suing CNN, like, he did hire a lawyer and they did do a press conference, but I love the press conference because a reporter asked him, so you're suggesting that a national recognized news organization decided to help a candidate who clearly was already winning? Like, make it make sense, cuz
yeah, clearly,
like he is so far behind in the polls now. Like, it's over. Like, he has lost, and a lot of people are saying that basically once the election is over, he'll drop the lawsuit because he knows that if he goes through with it, there will be discovery, and he really doesn't want there to be discovery on him. So,
will it help the Harris ticket that he's so?
I'm not sure. I would like to think that it would, because a lot of Trump surrogates did want Robinson to go ahead and drop out because they did feel like he would drag down the ticket. But whether that will actually make a difference in North Carolina, I can't really say for sure.
Double J, what's your opinion on that?
Like I said, when I asked before, he's still in the race. So
I will say I did pull this clip. I want to pull this clip because I was on Twitter this morning. Fuck you, Elon. And he was at some sort of event, and a diabetic veteran asked him, why are Republicans not fighting to lower the cost of insulin? And Rock Robinson said, well, you're going to have to show me the data on that because I can't believe Republicans are not fighting to lower medical costs. He says, you aren't. He says, you typically do not request that drug prices be lowered. That's been the Democrats. His response to that was, well, the people are not here to see you, so you just need to just go ahead and leave. And the people who were there actually like laughed and cheered him on when he said that. And I said, how disgusting do you have to be for a veteran who has diabetes to ask a legitimate question of the person running for governor, and y'all laugh at him saying like, well, nobody's here to see you, so you just go ahead and leave. I'm like, this is the person y'all really want to run the state of North Carolina.
Well,
yeah, I don't think so.
We've been saying it for the last 10 years. Cruelty is the point.
Yeah.
Cruelty is the point. And I think Malcolm, or either my news boot, Nicole Wallace, either
No
one.
theme music.
No, because I think it was Nicole Wallace or Malcolm. I mean, my Malcolm or Nicole Wallace. But either one of them said, like, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, and cruelty is the point. Yeah. So, go ahead.
Did you all talk about how Colin Allred roasted Ted Cruz yet?
Yeah, Bob was about to. That was next on. Well, I got to get through because Trump.
I wish I could dual vote because I'd go home and vote for Colin as well.
So let me go ahead and talk about that because let me tell you something. Before the show, I made the comment. I said he had fucked around the camera and saw his ass turn around, and all that ass. He looked like he was smuggling 2 hams, John. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, oh my God, you know he smells like Ivory Soap Fits. You know he does. That motherfucker running around here smell like lilac and Jesus. My God. So we're going to get into the down ballot races in a few. But to talk about the other side of the race, right, the other side of the race. This is the 74-year-old, 34-time indicted, twice impeached, former president of the United States.
78.
Overweight, sandbag titties. Found himself also on the campaign trail this week doing multiple press events. And he too did a wonderful town hall. Let's take a look in and let me get your opinion. Watch your space.
I am a Republican, no longer registered though. I want to give you the opportunity to try to win back my vote. Okay. Your, let me say, action and maybe inaction during your presidency and the last few years.
Already irritated.
Was a little disturbing to me. What happened during January 6th and the fact that, you waited so long to take action while your supporters were attacking the Capitol. Coronavirus, I thought the public was misled during coronavirus, and that many more lives could have been saved if we would have been informed better. And also people in your administration who don't support you. I'm curious how people so close to you and your administration no longer want to support you, so why would I want to support you? If you would answer these questions for me, I would really appreciate it and give you the opportunity. Your own vice president doesn't want to support you now.
Thank you, Ramiro.
So the people that don't support a very small portion. We have a tremendous, about 97% of the people in the administration support me. But because it's me, somebody doesn't support, they get a little publicity. The vice president, I disagree with him on what he did. I totally disagreed with him on what he did. Very importantly, you had hundreds of thousands of people come to Washington. They didn't come because of me. They came because of the election. They thought the election was a rigged election, and that's why they came. Some of those people went down to the Capitol. I said peacefully and patriotically, nothing done wrong at all, nothing done wrong. And action was taken, strong action. Ashley Babbitt was killed. Nobody was killed. There were no guns down there. We didn't have guns. The others had guns, but we didn't have guns. And when I say we, these are people that walked down. This was a tiny percentage of the overall, which nobody sees and nobody shows. but that was a day of love from the standpoint of the million.
Did you see that head tilt? He's like,
it's like hundreds of thousands. It could have been the largest group I've ever spoken before. They asked me to speak. I went and I spoke, and I used the term peacefully and patriotically. If you look at the Democrats, what they say, you look at Maxine Waters and you look at Hillary Clinton and you look at what they say, and they don't put that on. They only put Republicans on. But they couldn't get me because of the fact that I said everything's got to be peaceful and patriotic. And we'll see how it all works out. But I think that we're right now in another election. All I want is honest elections. I'm willing to take any chance. I want honest elections.
Wow.
Right.
I would say he has not won that man's vote.
He did. They did interview him after that, and he did say that I'm not voting for him because he just lied to my face. So he did say that
straight to my face.
Now,
I'm telling you,
what was so crazy is that it really was a vote. You know, he could tell like he was kind of nervous asking the question. You know, and yet his question was probably better than a lot of journalists. You know, just ask the direct question. Like, oh my God, all these people don't support you. Like, what the fuck? Why should I vote?
Like Tim Walz said to JD Vance, like, where is Pence? Why isn't Pence here? Oh, that's right. They tried to murder him. That's why he's not. Like,
talk about murder victims. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
I think that is really important at this moment. And that's the other thing that Vice President Harris did. I think. So the other thing she's trolling him with, her visit to Fox got 8.9 million views. His supposed town hall only got 2 million. So he is seething about that. And then during her interview, it got really contentious. He kept interrupting her and she kept dropping facts. But you think that stopped the former president? It did not. This ninja kept on going this week. So where's this?
Trabajado toda mi vida con estas manos, agachado por horas, piscando fresa, cortando brócoli.
Good evening, President Trump. For many years, I have worked with these hands, hunched over, picking strawberries and cutting broccoli.
Wow.
Este duro trabajo es realizado en su mayoría por gente indocumentada.
This tough job is mainly done by undocumented people.
Si usted deporta a esta gente, ¿quién haría ese trabajo y qué precio pagaríamos por la comida?
If you deport these people, who would do that job and what price would we pay for food?
Please. Finished? Yes. So the problem we have is we had people coming in under my administration, and they were coming in legally. They were coming in through a system that we had, which was great, because I'm the best thing that ever happened to farmers. You know that. I was great. You know, farmers are doing very badly right now, very, very badly under this administration. Under my administration, farmers did very well. We have to have a lot of people come into our country. We just want them to come in legally through a system, because they've released hundreds of thousands of people that are murderers, drug dealers, terrorists. They're coming in totally, nobody knows who they are, where they come from. And the people that are most against it are the Hispanic people. They are totally against it, what's happened. The other thing I can say is that a lot of the jobs that you have and that other people have are being taken by these people that are coming in. And
that's his same people.
The African-American population and the Hispanic population in particular are losing jobs now because millions of people are coming in. So they're coming in, but they're also coming in largely, and tremendous numbers coming in out of mental institutions. They're emptying out mental institutions. They're emptying out insane asylums. That's a step above a mental institution. Worse, bigger problems, bigger problem people. They're emptying out jails. Their jails are being let into our country from Venezuela, but not just South America, from all over the world. They're being let in, from jails, from nobody's ever seen anything like it. The jail
because it ain't happening.
I just want to say one thing before we go on. And they have pointed this out. He keeps saying that they are releasing people from insane asylums. He is claiming asylum status as coming from an insane asylum. So like he keeps saying that, and it's like,
is that how he got to that?
Yes, that's why he keeps saying that, because he is getting those two terms confused. So that's why he keeps saying insane asylums, because he thinks people, when they say they want to claim, asylum status, that they're coming from insane asylum. So
either one of y'all can host this show. I'm fucking leaving. I'm done. I can't do this no more.
You know what's so sad though is that he is right about one thing, which is that a lot of times there are a lot of Hispanic voters who support Trump. And even as he says all these horrible things about people coming in, they never see it as about themselves. They see it as about other people. And
right.
It is fucked up that people would equate, Harris's going on Fox News and him going on. Because they're not necessarily against him. They're not.
Well,
a lot of them are like undecided voters, like they said.
No, and I think that's because, Malcolm, that's twofold.
Yeah.
So first of all, he'll never get the Ecuadorian and Cuban vote because my people, assimilate to white people when they come here, and they won't give it up. So, and that's a foregone conclusion. The lighter skin you are, the more you assimilate to white people. So that's just how that is going to go. Now, with this is, again, I think with this going on Univision, I think this was one of those things that it breaks through to some of the people. Because when you're in a bubble and all you hear is this one thing, this thing. So she doesn't have enough time to think, and thank God she hasn't been running for president for the last 3 years. But Jay, you know what I'm saying? Like Vince, it's like she has enough time to drop something that keep it moving. But with the Hispanic community, I think this kind of thing this will get her 1 or 2%. It'll move enough to say something. But I cannot believe. Go ahead.
It's always good when whatever group hears Trump in his own words, especially when he reaches in, because it clicks something, and all the faces that you saw in the cutaways, that realization is. Now, what I believe the vice president needs to do is take 1 day, 2 days out and do a swing through Texas, Arizona, Nevada, New Mexico, and make her presence known to excite the people there to come out and vote, because all this is going to be about excitement to get to the polls.
Mm-hmm.
And the more she can do that, the better. I think, like I said, I'm still hoping that she is able to carve out a Wednesday or whatever to just make a quick swing through Texas.
Are they looking into that? Did you hear? Are they looking into that? Is that what you heard? Or no?
I haven't heard it.
Okay.
Others are coming, but it's more the second tiers. We're getting some of the Republicans that are supporting her, which are also supporting Colin Allred coming through. And granted, the state is not going to turn totally blue, but the more people that come out help Allred.
Yeah.
And that, along with the dissatisfaction that people have with Cruz, could get him over the finish line. So,
okay, I would love that to happen too, and it was surprising. Like the Fox interview, like when Double J said it, I was like, nah, that was a Christmas list. You know what I mean? I was like, but when she said that, she was like, that goddamn John, fuck, the magical red shorts. Listen. It's you never know. I think it's close enough. it's close enough. They may consider they are doing everything. I don't know. So, and then speaking of doing everything, in this upcoming week, she is going to do a swing through Nevada and Arizona, but she is doing that swing with First Lady Michelle Obama, and she's swinging back, and so Michelle's due to hit the trail for her next week because they said that's a good closing argument. And in Arizona and Nevada, they have Mark Kelly, whose name neither the old men on the panel could think of. Being this guy. That's a good closing argument. I wish she could make it to Texas, but we'll see. And in the upcoming week, her and President Obama will be coming back to Atlanta. And they have some events for Southern Georgia, down by Malcolm, Valdosta, all those places. Villa Rica, Georgia, all those places like that. So you know what else I've seen, because I have to record Wheel of Fortune, Double J, so I won't have to see all those goddamn ads. It's crazy. Like, the ads are ridiculous. But I am now finally seeing less Trump ads. I think he's running out of money. You see less Trump ads because that motherfucking transgender ad wears a hole in me that she is supporting transgender surgeries in jail. And so it just make you want to roll your eyes. But Brett Baer asked her that question in the interview. And she said simply, I will follow the law. She said, Trump, there were 20 done during the Trump administration. You're not asking him that question. Shut him right the fuck up in front of 8 million supporters. So I hope that shuts that down. So in other Trump news, he did this supposed rally. I don't know what it was. And then like 2 people fell out because it was so hot. And I don't know if he can't afford air conditioning or I don't know what this is. I'm just like, bro, like, okay, so the people get medical attention. So I guess it's taking too long for him. And then he gets pissed off and says, well, I'm not going to do anything. So he then, I don't know why the governor of, where was she the governor of? Some state. I don't know. The bitch that shot her dog. I can't think of it. You know what I'm talking about?
Gretchen. Yeah.
What's her name?
Something Gnome. She's the governor of South Dakota.
There you go, John. The bitch that killed her dog because she thought the dog was a weakling. She said the dog was never cut it. The dog would never cut it in dog land, so she shot the dog. So Fitzy, he was up there, and so then he plays Pavarotti, Ave Maria, and songs he ain't supposed to play. So 30 minutes, and then people are like, "Oh well, they were tending to the sick." And I'm like, dude, have you ever been to a rally or a concert? They remove those people in seconds. Like the EMTs and the doctor remove them motherfuckers. They put them off to the side. You can keep on going. He, just like in that clip that Dave was saying, he's a petulant child. He did not want to perform anymore because he was interrupted. And my news boo, Nicole Wallace, played. Get married, get a room. I don't you? I understand. Yeah. So she's like, I'm going to tell you how long 39 minutes is. So she started playing the entire clip. And she kept going with the rest of her song. So she put it like at the bottom of the screen. And she just kept going and going and going and going. And every so often she'd be like, yo, he's still dancing. And then she'll go on to, when they looking to win the house. And he's still dancing. So if anybody knows anything about television, him dancing went all the way through her block A. It was halfway through the first half of the show, 39 minutes of him dancing to YMCA. He couldn't do the A. Somebody had to teach him how to do the A.
This is an atrocious playlist. It should be noted.
To me, the one thing that's the biggest takeaway from that is he doesn't know how to respond or to react to something not going as planned. And that through his governing and everything else shows he doesn't prepare. He doesn't think critically about what could happen prior to. And so you get stuck with crap like that. And that to me is a sign. You want to look at what type of leader he is. That's what type of leader he is.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
That whole thing, if he was concerned, hey, it's too hot in here, we can't go on, then open the doors and tell people to go home and figure out something else to do with them.
Well, let me tell you. So, in closing of this particular segment, his statement was, does anybody else want to faint? Go ahead and do it now.
I think he also joked about them being too fat.
Wow.
Like, so y'all can lose some weight.
Yeah, this is perfect. You all can sweat the weight out. Well, obviously it hadn't worked for him. So.
Right. Oh, God.
Please, as always, early voting is going on in many states. If you are able to early vote, please do so. The polls close for voting Tuesday, November the 5th. That's about 17 days from now. If you are here in the state of Georgia, my good fine people, hit me up. I have a couple of organizations that can get you to the polls. You wanted to say something there, Double J? You good?
No, I was just breathing. Is that allowed?
No, it's not. Would you like to breathe? Go somewhere else. I mean, it works for the Republicans. Why not me? Shit. They get away with this bullshit. I just want to know, I want to be a dictator on day one. I guess I can only be a dictator on Saturdays between 12 and 1:30. Life is unfair. I want to be a dictator.
I just wish that after I cast my ballot, that once it registered, I wish I could just be exempt from commercials, phone calls, text messages, emails.
I told Dr. Patel you said that. He fell out laughing. He said, John, because
they just called me 3 times during this whole show. I'm still getting calls.
Right.
Well, the Trump organization's calling
I don't
me.
care about the Trump organization.
No, they're calling me. I was like, why are you calling me? I'm a registered Republican.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wish they called me. I'm cussing them out.
I'll give you another cuss.
Saturday Night Live made a joke a couple of weeks ago talking about how, Harris is rated over $1 billion. It's like, so why are you still contacting me looking for money?
Yeah, all that bitch.
It's a record amount of money, madam. Why are you still begging for money?
Yeah, they were actually concerned about that. When they reached that $1 billion mark, that donations would go down. It apparently hasn't been an issue, but
they have not.
I should have charged them people when I went to go cast my vote because I took so many damn pictures with my T-shirt on. It's like, let me get a picture. Let me get even the poll worker. Even the poll worker was like,
I mean, it's a good shirt. It's a good shirt.
Even the poll workers were like, leave me that shirt and I'll give you your card to vote. I was like, what?
We love it. They will hold you hostage here in Georgia.
Maybe they were trying to get you out of the shirt, John. I don't know.
Now, here's the thing, though. I think I need to report the poll worker that took my ballot because as I was, putting it in, it spit it back out. And the dude said, you got to turn it around and shove it in, and you're not shoving it in right. Should I report him?
You are shoving it in correctly.
Should I report him?
He's just trying to be a patriot for democracy. You're going to deport this man. You got to shove it in.
John, I would not report him. I would probably be like, you won't give me your number. Right. And then I'll show you how I can shove it in.
I was kind of shocked that he said it the way he said it. I was like, oh my, I'm being harassed at the ballot box.
Well, speaking of that, so luckily some people are reporting these poll watchers are getting in the way. So a friend of mine's husband, like the poll watcher was like almost on top of him. And he says, "You can't come in this booth with me." I see now I understand why you married this man, because both of y'all are unstable. But I was like, what did he say? He's like, the man just stood back. And he said he called whoever oversees in the building, like the elections manager person in the building. He says, I want this young man moved away from me completely. I feel like he's trying to watch me vote. And I don't know about most states, but here in Georgia, we have these lovely big giant iPads that I love. Like,
yeah, they are huge.
They're just gigantic. And you don't have to be that close to the person to see what's up, John.
And then here's the thing. So I pulled up, because here in DeKalb County, it's everybody early votes at the same place. It's not different places, just one central place. So they moved it from the normal election office, and they made the warehouse, because they was expecting heavy turnout, which I'm glad they did, because normally when you go to early vote, it's only like 8 machines and it's kind of a small space. But for this, they moved it, and it's about 20 machines in there. So we pulls up, the person that I took with me, he like, look at that damn line. Oh, here, let's come back later. I said, you think it's going to get any better?
No.
And he was like, well, are they voting on Saturday? I was like, well, yeah, 9 a.m. He said, well, we can come here at 8. I looked at him. I said, you don't think there's going to be a line here at 8 on Saturday?
It's going to be even longer because people don't.
I said it's going to get worse as we get closer to election day. He was like, oh, man, what is that? I was like, we here. Let's get in line. Let's go ahead and get it done. And be done with it. Well, shoot, if we're gonna stand in that line, I'm hungry. I was like, well, take your ass over to McDonald's. I'm getting in the line.
Well, John, before we close out this segment, can you look and see what the total vote is? And I want to know if you can find out for me what the total vote of last election season was like. I think the total Georgia vote was like 4 or 5 million.
Yeah, you're asking for too much now.
I know it's on the same website, bro. My bad. But while John looks that up for me, please go to www.
I'm gonna need the fee.
Wow. Where you need to go vote, what you need to do to vote, all that good stuff. Early vote if you can. Democracy is depending on it. We are depending on it here at M3. Calm our nerves, please. Everybody's nervous. The Xanax sales have went through the roof since this. Now we're gonna go ahead and the part of the show that I love.
Have they started early voting in Texas yet?
No.
Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I forgot to get a Colin Allred update. What's going on with
Colin? Let's put some respect on his name. It's not college. It's Colin.
Sexy Daddy. I said Colin. Sexy Daddy, as I call him in private.
He's still in. One of the things, he's got the two issues of abortion, which he's running heavily on. And he's also running on basically the character of Cruz, how he left during our blizzard.
I love how he went in on that.
He hit him pretty good. He hit him very good on the debate of what he was doing in the House of Representatives,
Oh, the whole you hide in the
weapon
closet
and getting up to bar the door versus Cruz hiding in a closet. That could kind of be thing.
It was pretty good.
And he looked at him and said, "It's not funny." Right.
It's not
Cruz
funny.
was laughing about something, and he looked at Cruz and said, "It's not funny."
All right, yeah, you did tell him it's not funny.
He does kind of have like this nervous laugh that he does, and I'm glad Aldrich called him out on it. It's like, it's not funny, dude.
It's not funny, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Cruz's main point that you see in the commercials down here is he's very strong on this whole notion of transgender surgeries being performed either in the military, because they got this one old guy who lost his legs in some war talking about he's he's appalled that the military is, allowing us. Like, well, that's part of the the act that covers military health care. And then a whole bunch of these, if my child were to come home from school being transformed, I'm like, I was like, at the beginning of the school year, you fill out the paperwork. Can your child go on field trips? But yet for every field trip, they send out another note saying, we're going on a field trip to the museum. Can they go? I'm like, and you actually would believe that they would send them to school as a little boy and bring them home as a little girl because they sent them to sexual transition surgery. It doesn't make sense.
No.
And no one is believing this crap. So I don't know where it's going, why they're using that tact. It's just,
but it's a shame that you're not opposed to it though.
Right. There's this trend on TikTok right now of that clip about sending your kids to school. And it's like these people are like, they pretend like they're sending their kid to school. The kid looks normal. And then the kid comes back and then all of a sudden they're like wrapped up in bandages and stuff. They're like, what happened to my child? I can't believe I sent him to school this morning. They come back and had this operation and I didn't know about it. It's like, TikTok never fails to entertain.
Your kid comes back trans. Nice.
Right.
And it's like I said before, you take the lie to a point where it's so ludicrous that no one is believing it. And
right.
You might have some, maybe really older folks or whatever else, but Texans are set in their ways, but they are still, of all the Trump supporters, are a little bit more rational, I think, than what they are in different parts of the country.
The thing is, though, sometimes I don't think it really matters if it's rational or not, because I thought about it with the, abortion after the baby's born. Like that was a thing. Like after birth abortion, what?
But
it's fully born.
They're putting it forward, but it's not gaining action. It's not. I don't hear people talking about that. We're going, oh yeah, they're killing babies after they're born, or they're sending
Trump
kids.
Said that in the debate.
Listen, they're saying it. It's just not catching traction.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, to a certain degree, it's not really about the truth statement. It's about the tribal nature of it, right? It's kind of like what they call them. It doesn't even really matter if it's true or not. It's just a moniker of what tribe you're a part of.
Yeah, I mean, it's anecdotal, but like I said, I think a couple weeks ago, I'm seeing so many less trucks with Trump flags driving around this year than I did in 16 or in 20.
I can understand that.
All right, what
people are turning against him?
Mr. Drayton, what number do you want?
Let's start off with total votes cast so far.
1,220,701.
Jesus. I wonder, and if you would, what was the total number in 2020 votes cast?
I'm only on the current. I haven't looked at that yet. What else do you want to know as far as current?
That's it.
Now, well, let me just say this though.
Go ahead.
There are 7,192,730 active voters in the state of Georgia. So it's still 6 million more people need to vote. Well, the ones that I don't think it's just counting new I don't think this is counting new registrations though.
Right, that's not counting new registrations. But just the sheer number, 16% have already voted. That's incredible.
Of the 292,623 absentee mail-in ballots that were requested, they've only received 68,746.
Which is good. Which is still good.
Yeah, I was listening to some news report about what was it? Jimmy Carter having voted for Harris.
That was wonderful. Okay, well, we're going to waiting for John to go in. Let's go ahead and do the weekly rewind because I want to laugh at myself and you too. Hello. Let's go.
And I would also put in there one of my favorite snacks, which is these baked onion rings from Caleb. Now it's not that will expire, but these are some delicious ass onion rings, and oh my god, I swear they have a smidge of crack in them because they're addictive. Once you taste one, it's like it's hard to put that down.
Oh
It's interesting. It's interesting how instead of just saying they're addicting, you use crack.
No,
let's explore that.
No, really, but no, it's the same thing people say about. That's the same thing people say about Publix fried chicken. It's Publix fried
it's
chicken
not.
See.
I love it. It's fine.
And it's also because I don't have a Publix, so when I first tried, I was like, "Oh, this is good." Oh, okay. So yeah, I get it.
Publix fried chicken is as good as Supercell was. Supercell season 1 was.
That is. But yes.
Our black car.
It's like
black car.
You know what that is? So I get that, and I just got that like 20 seconds ago when you said it, because people always I do like that romantic feeling, and it doesn't always have to be connected to sex or dating.
No, it doesn't.
No, you agree?
I mean, but I mean, I think sometimes too, some people will feel like, well, I can only be romantic to someone I'm interested in because I don't want to feel like I'm wasting my energy on someone who's not gonna appreciate it or be grateful. But like you said, like if you just want to do something randomly nice for somebody, that's not being romantic. That's just you thinking of them and being like, hey, I know you in a bad mood, so I bought you this or I did this for you, XYZ. Now, if it's somebody you're romantically interested in, that's completely different because your intention or your motive for doing it is coming from a different place.
But it's only romantic. It's in the.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's in the same skill set. Right?
Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's in the romantic diaspora.
Okay.
I mean, I think those of us who are romantics, we are super kind to our friends and our family,
Right.
and I think that Jay, that is a very good thing. Like, I remember one time Malcolm went through this wine phase. It's like every show, Jay, he was drinking wine, and so I was like,
so what was he? What was he? Olivia Pope?
Yeah.
Next Bordeaux.
What did I?
I think it was Moscato. That was
Yeah.
right.
So my friend said,
that's a lie.
And
I like sweet relish. Sweet relish is good.
I do too. I do too, Thick. I do.
It's like
so.
pickles and syrup. No.
That's what makes it good. That's what makes it good.
Right.
That's good eating.
Oh god.
Tim Scott eats his catfish dipped in applesauce and raisins with his white ass.
Wow.
I mean, I went to the bathroom.
Mr. Eman says he looked like the type of cat who actually passes out jars of homemade jalapeno jam for trick or treat.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm on. Oh, this is about Tim. This is about Tim Scott.
Jalapeno jam.
One more. Tim Scott forces his family to dress up as pilgrims every Thanksgiving.
Wow.
What?
Mr. Eman has been roasting Tim Scott all night long. It's so good.
That one seems to hit home for me.
That really does.
Is this true?
No, he made that shit up, but it's not.
It is. It probably is.
I ain't gonna be late next Tuesday, I promise you.
Yes. This is a whole different couch story, but It was a call from the Savage Love cast, and I just think.
Oh no!
It's about a couch, so it
He
is.
didn't fuck with me. I don't know why.
Hi, Dan, mid-40s gay man here, who was with my boyfriend for 10 years, 2 of which were spent living together. A year ago, we purchased a couch for our apartment. It was agreed we would each pay half of the cost. Then, months later, he admitted he was in love with another man. Eventually, out of frustration, I ended the relationship, which he initially agreed with, until he checked with his lover, who apparently just wanted to hook up. So all of a sudden, my boyfriend felt we had made a mistake, and he pleaded with me to reconsider. I did, but against my gut and better judgment. We started therapy at my insistence, and at the cost, that we ended up splitting. First couple of sessions were great, but eventually my ex was saying all the right things in therapy, but outside of sessions, he was cagey, awkward, and tense with me. We ended up breaking up earlier this year. He moved out, but I kept the couch. So here's the issue. I've been paying him my portion a little each month for the couch. I've taken on a second job to pay down additional credit card debt of mine, and soon I will be able to pay off the remaining $1,500 I owe for the couch. I intended on doing so because I just want that part of my life to be over with. However, everyone in my life is telling me I don't owe him anything. Even my fiscally responsible mother tells me not to pay him back. I'm curious to know what your take is on this. I'm leaning towards just paying it off, but I don't know. What's your take?
First world problems. Really? First off, how much is this couch? Like, you got to take a second job to help pay off a couch?
Yeah, they must live in New York City.
Yeah, it sounds like a very urban thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
like apartment couches are like $4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah,
Gonna go
easily
with that.
5,000 more now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Fuck your couch, nigga. Fuck your couch. Listen,
Oh yeah.
listen, there are a few things I miss about the city, and that's one of them I do not. All that goddamn apartment ass specialty furniture you gotta get. It's small. You
Yeah,
wanna
it's
live like
surprisingly.
yeah, you wanna live like everybody else. What'd you say, Michael?
It is surprising how much they can cost. It is.
Yeah, and the only thing it is that they take a regular size couch and shrink it. And they put a bed inside in case you gotta get a roommate on the fly. And and it's just like, wow, I do not want this. Like food, I'm not a relish person, so we can I agree
Yeah,
with John.
3 or 4 of those were about food, weren't it? Like,
Yes.
I know, right? We are foodies here at M3.
Yeah. I am definitely not a
fried
relish.
wing, onion rings, fried chicken.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
funny.
definitely let me see, can I remember? Let's see. I'm not a relish cat. I am not a Publix fried chicken dude. It's okay, but you gotta catch it hot. Yeah, I'm more of a Popeyes dude, or there's little restaurants around here, definitely. John, where do you if it's you? Where do you fall on the relish scale?
Well, give me a little Piccadilly maybe, but if it's there, I'll eat it. If it's not, I'm not going to. It's a northern thing. If you don't know Piccadilly, maybe it's a.
I do. It's one right down the street. Where's Thick? It's one not too far from Thick on Godby Road. Thick, if when you get off work, you want to meet me at the bar.
It's probably the last one in the whole city of Atlanta.
It's
too.
3 of them. No, it's 3 of them.
Is that a
Oh.
store? Something I was talking about the relish, but
Oh no, Piccadilly is a restaurant. I'm sorry.
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like a soul
It's
food.
also a condiment that you can get.
Okay, it's the last of the soul food bar eerie situations, and they hood, and the food is hood. It's good as shit.
Yeah.
They season a little bit, but not too much. It's really good.
But some sweet relish and some potato salad, or
no sweet relish.
egg salad or tuna fish.
No.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no.
John. You don't know what you're missing. You don't know what you're
I agree with
missing.
John on that one.
It's a
That's-
sweet relish.
Sweet
No.
relish with potato salad is good.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It
Pickles
is-
and
it is-
syrup.
it is
No.
gonna
It
be
is-
in tuna.
It is superior. Yes.
That's
I'm
why we
sorry.
don't need
Fan of
everybody's
it, but
potato
from-
salad now. You know.
Well, and maybe if I do eat it, it's gonna be in tuna. So I don't
Now,
know.
my
something like that.
auntie used to make potato salad, and she would always put it in this orange Tupperware container. I don't know why, but something about that orange Tupperware container just, I don't know. I think maybe it just soaked up all the potato salads before it and just made it taste better. I don't know what it is.
Mr. Underwood says, I wouldn't have done an interview with Fox News. They are the Trump news media cult. It's really a waste of time. I think she would win more black votes if she visit more black media outlets. And she has. She's done.
That's the thing, though. It's on all the margin. And they were talking about,
go ahead.
No, they were talking about Nikki Haley voters. Like there were
Right.
quite a few of those that they were trying to get.
Right.
So,
Somebody was watching her ass show. She 8.7 million people were watching.
The ones that don't want to vote for Trump, but are not sure they want to vote for Kamala, are the ones that watch that interview.
exactly. And there are quite a few of those. There are a lot
Right.
of Republicans
Right.
who are planning on sitting out. you know,
Right.
Instead of
I
voting.
I will also say though regarding that Fox interview, because a lot of people noticed that like he tried to get her to say something negative about Trump voters and she wouldn't do it. Like he said like, you know, people are supporting him. Are they stupid? And she said, I would never say that about the American people, Brett. It's like, boom, she is so seasoned. This woman knows what the fuck she's doing. She's like, I'm not gonna go on Fox News and say they're stupid. I'm not gonna make that mistake that Hillary made. I'll be like, I would never say that.
You won't get deplorables on this mouth, bitch.
Right.
Someone said it was like a fucking like one of those cartoons with the coyote in the box.
Right.
So here's the carrot. Go get it. That's trap.
She's just like, she's like, I know this is a trap. I'm not gonna fall for this.
Just fucking, it was brilliant. And he also said, we were talking about the history, that just no way to erase history. I agree. I totally. I was talking about told him now in case Trump wins. Yeah. Because he gonna
get your potato, you won't have to worry about it.
Oh my God! Shout out to Cream Diggler. Speaking of the brigade, Lord, not smuggling 2 hams.
What does Cream say about the relish? I want to know what he says about it.
I would imagine Cream is a relish. I'm going to text him later. But I would imagine.
Yes, we gotta get Cream's opinion on relish, sweet relish, and there.
He does love digging his own grave. He never answers the question. He does not. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, whore.
Yes.
Oh, Miss Piggy.
Yes.
Oh God.
He needs to learn to be humble.
Maybe and then when her clapback was all women don't desire to be humble. I love that.
Right. I do love
that. I love her calm tone when she clapping back. Somebody said some shit at her rally yesterday. It was like, "You a liar." She was like, "I think you're at the wrong rally."
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the smaller one down
the street.
And so we have 3 things according to my street team down here. Relax says it should be sweet relish should be in potato salad. Yes. Deviled eggs. Yes. And tuna salad. Tuna. Yes.
Basically, yeah, those sort of bland, mayo type stuff.
I agree with that totally.
But you can't do too much. You really can. I can understand why it can be a little.
Yeah, you can, but
it can never be too much. It can never be too much.
Well, or hot dogs is a no-go because I can taste it up front. So I'm good.
Right.
But listen, America, listen. So tune in.
Sweet relish is evil.
Wow. And he said it with such a disdain on his look. He was like, listen. Please tune in during the week. You can catch Malcolm and I on Mondays at 12 noon. Read their swag at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, Malcolm the Philosopher King. Him and Cream, him and Swag both air at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And coming soon in the middle of November, he will be back. Cream Diggler for the Diggler Digest. Right now we're running reruns because he's off being quite the director and entertainer. So check him out Thursdays at 8 p.m. when he comes back with a new season for you. Oh, there he is at the bottom. Sweet. I gotta put this up. Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Damn it.
I got it. Let me do it.
Sweet Relish has her place. Okay.
Thank you, Cream.
No, I still disagree. It has its place.
It's a very narrow niche, but
It has its place right on the shelf.
Seems like a food chemist. He said it's good in a very mayo-based things.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes.
Like mayo and
Devon,
syrup.
we
No.
forgot Devon's show tomorrow.
Yeah. So be careful with the relish. Be careful. Don't buy a couch with a motherfucker and go vote. You like that? You like the wrap up fits? You don't buy your own couch. Right.
Make a pallet.
One
I'm telling
sex
you.
with it, do it. You know.
Right.
Make
And
a
don't
pallet.
get make a pallet. Yeah, John's Double J's answer to the question was to make a pallet on the floor. Fuck a $3,000 couch. You don't need it. All right.
was a
Do
bit
us a
much.
favor. Join us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/MailMediaMob. Become a paid contributing member. Get exclusive content through our Telegram page. Well, Malcolm will make you horny at work. Yes, it is a thing.
Which is the last place you really want to be horny, but
Well, it will relieve all your tension from this election season. If you need relief these next 17 days, let Malcolm help you procure the relief.
We get some contributions from our patrons too, which is pretty cool.
It is all kinds of throwback porn from the 90s, porn from the 80s.
Yeah, we got like the first gay black porn ever on there.
Yeah, so like he's doing it. Like he's giving you
it's for the culture, you know.
for the culture. All right, so we're gonna roll those beautiful closing credits, and we're gonna see you on Patreon in one moment. Everybody on the panel, stay put and join us on Patreon. We'll continue talking shit to each other. Bye bye.
This is Black News.
I wouldn't have gave that motherfucker nothing back on that couch. I didn't want to get into it because I was already at being over, but it was.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, "Fuck your couch."
You probably had to sue me for it.
Yeah.
I'll go to the people's
Right.
court, no problem.
Right.
I think one of those things though is like because of the amount, like he's already in debt or whatever. Like that's probably why I would just not do it. But if I had the money, I would probably do it.
And I want to know whose name it was in. That would have made my determination. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think you register a couch, so.
Yeah, I mean, he already had possession of the couch, right? The dude moved out.
Right.
And what is it? Possession is 2/10 of the law.
Right.
But it's kind of like for my own self-identity, I want to be the type of person who keeps his word, you know, even to assholes. He said he would pay for half.
Yeah, and plus, if he had the couch, I guess, if he has physical custody of the couch.
Well, he probably made his word that he wasn't going to be fucking some other dude too. So
No, they had an open relationship, but you just can't.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. But then the crazy part is, nigga, you ain't even show up your new shit. Like you got caught out there,
right?
And the new boo was like, "Nah, we was just doing it."
Right.
He also made the point that they went to couples counseling, even though it was clear he was not really interested in getting back together.
Right.
And he was like, "I paid for
So
couples
that point alone, I would have been like, "No, this is your payment for what you did to me. I'm keeping this couch. You come up with the payments."
Yeah.
But so the thing I didn't understand about that is you had your out. You wanted to be out of a relationship. You had your out. why would you be an asshole and come back?
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, like, dude, you had your way out of the situation. Stay out.
Right.
Maybe it was a financial situation where it benefited him, and so he kind of like, let me see how long I can make this stretch out.
That could be part of it too.
Foolishness is what it was. White people foolishness.
Yeah,
I would have been like,
Go that far.
it was very Caucasian. That's true.
Foolish comes in all kind of colors. I ain't gonna.
It does.
Right.
But they're special.
Yeah.
Very much so.
$5,000.
I remember one time me and the nigga wanted to be living together, and I thought we was cool. And
Right.
like, can I come to your house and get my stuff? I was like, yeah, you know, come by the job, get the key. Nigga took my microwave.
See,
You weren't there?
No, I thought we were cool. I thought it was like a
I ain't never that cool with nobody. For them to
Right.
be in the
As
house
many
by myself.
stories, horror stories I have seen, because like Malcolm, didn't you show a video of like a guy who's like the dude just wreaked havoc on his house?
Yep.
Like stealing stuff and destroying like
whole new
property and stuff. Like, no, there's
Well, I
no
bet
way.
you when we got that,
I would
when we
let
got
it
served,
over. And I'm not there.
He destroyed all the
Nope,
plants
did
in
I
the
got-
yard. He put
Yeah.
sugar under the carpet.
Right.
You need, if you want that microwave, you wait till I get off. If you need something to cook, you can go on to the gas station and heat it up over there. But you
I
ain't.
thought we were cool, but I told you when I went to court, it was the microwave, it was the couch, it was my family heirlooms, and he ended up with a goddamn grand larceny charge. Fuck him. You want to stay
The man stole his ex's son's stuff. Like, what kind of monster do you have to be to steal from a kid who ain't had nothing to do with this? Like,
so petty.
yeah, we might be cool, but we're not gonna be that cool. Cause I'll be like, no, I didn't see too many of these stories.
He just really needed that Paw Patrol stuff. That's what.
He took the
Clearly.
combo, like the little
Right.
toys. Like what the fuck? You gotta kill.
Stole the man's clothes, stole his shoes,
Paw Patrol. That's terrible.
and then made it seem like maybe he done something to the man's food, so he had to throw all the food out because he didn't trust him. Like, damn, what did you do?
Dude, like the man,
Yeah, that's what
dude,
it was. Like he did it so bad. Like I'm thinking that maybe there was something. I don't know. He was just petty.
Right, like man, you must have done something to hurt this man because this is just not normal.
Just cut the cords.
I think it was. He did cut the cords and then he hit them back up. So they had this it's like this way you have a fucking hole in your floor that you have to redo the entire floor.
Right.
I mean, like that's really fun.
That's petty. That
That really is.
Mega petty.
That is petty McPettis.
So he topped me.
It's so bad. Oh god.
Oh, Don, that is real petty too. That's petty and sneaky.
That's petty to the point where he's criminal. Yeah. like-
That's petty to the point of being psychotic.
right.
Yeah, but Don's
Did
shit
y'all-
so petty.
Did y'all tell Jay Martin about what I did to that ex?
Fizz, did we tell you about that? Go ahead, John. Tell your own story.
Well, we were breaking up, so my petty ass. I went and cut all the electrical cords to all the appliances and all the electronics.
This is. You had to take a deep breath on the bread. Friends, okay. Yeah.
There's signs for that type of craziness beforehand. So I just
We would like to think so.
nah. I've developed these detector for it. I didn't used to have it, but I got it now. So
Oh, share.
I was
Share
in
with
my
us.
20s.
What's the clue? What's the context clue?
Well, I was married to a woman with borderline personality disorder.
Oh,
so
geez.
I've picked up those sudden,
Yeah.
things, and the biggest one is this is what I did to my ex.
Yeah.
Because if they've done it to their ex, guess what? You next in line. So
Hey man.
Oh god.
Just don't trigger me.
Little things like that. If they say they
Okay,
get
John,
scared,
I will make sure not to put any sweet relish in your potatoes.
In the company picnic,
Right. I make sure to be like, Lord, I want John to cut my cord. Let me make sure this ain't no sweet relish.
Who making the potatoes now, Lord? Who making who making the potato salad? Don't take it over there with John house. Don't do that. That's gonna be crazy.
I'm still laughing at Mr. Eatman talking about Tim Scott dips his catfish in applesauce and raisins.
He's been quiet too.
He has been very quiet. I wonder why.
Who, Mr. E? Oh, Tim Scott.
Yeah,
they all have been auspiciously quiet. I think because
Nikki Haley been quiet.
I read a story in the New York Times yesterday that everybody's concerned about Trump's mental acuity. Oh, now you concerned. Now you concerned.
I think the whole thing about sending out the military to, take care of their political opponents kind of got some people actually worried. Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm, but you can see the craziness.
Get the hell out of here.
What happened?
He did marry Becky.
No.
August 4th, 2024, Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina married his fiancee, Mindy, in a church ceremony in Charleston, Saturday, August 3rd. So they did get married.
Yeah.
Now, here's the $64,000 question. Are they living together?
I mean, Melania married to Trump.
Pictures,
I mean, what does
they
that
got
mean?
pictures and everything.
I'm just saying, there are different types of marriages, like Melania.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
are a
point.
type of
That's
marriage.
my point.
Now, you know what Melania is interesting, because Melania is like, listen, I wanted a sugar daddy. I didn't want to be first lady. This is a bridge too far.
Yeah.
You know? That
She's
bitch.
still on the hook right now.
I've heard reports saying that she's planning on moving to New York because what's the kid's
Barron is
name?
going to Columbia.
Barron is going to so she wants to move to New York. So she's it's like, okay. Bye.
Well, we know he probably not eating the cat because she wouldn't have a hysterectomy with that overbite he got.
Oh God.
Oh wow.
Yikes.
Look at this huge face. Like, wow, look at that.
But he's been dodging those rumors for a long time. So I would imagine he probably just went ahead and went through it anyway, just so people would shut up. And he's probably was like, look, you do what you want to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And
He said, "Ooh, what, John?"
Just this picture of him smiling with her. It's just gone.
I know.
And it's close up.
You look like you just somebody threw up online. You was like, oh.
I mean, do you blame him? Because that mouth is like you would think somebody that has that kind of money would get that fixed. It's like he does. It's just like gums.
Oh my God.
Yikes.
You know, when
She still looks scared.
She does. Every picture looks like a hostage video.
I know. People should walk up to her and be like, blink twice if you need help.
We know you're not okay. Sis. We know you're not okay. Right. That's what happens when you marry a queen, ma'am.
That's the thing, though. He really is going to run for president again. So.
Yeah, of course they ain't gonna. Them Republicans not gonna let him be president.
I wouldn't say let him be president, but he's a shoe-in actually for the nominee. Like they want a black Republican. Like it gives
They
them
do,
confidence.
but I think it's gonna be more. I think Marco Rubio is gonna try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably right, Malcolm, but I think the ceiling for black Republicans is a senator. I just think that's their ceiling.
Yeah. Or you may have should have picked the VP. He should have.
I don't know how skilled he is as a politician. Like I've seen him talk a few times.
Who, Byron Donalds?
No, I was talking about Guns
Jim Scott.
McGee.
Oh, he's okay. He's not right.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great. That's the only reason I don't think
He
he's.
really isn't. Like some of like that whole thing where he's like, "I love you, Trump." It's like
I
it
know,
looks,
it's so
it just
bad.
comes across so coonerish. Just like, I'm
Listen,
sure
but
for
every-
white folks it works well for them, but I'm like, I can't see black people
Don't
being
tell
like,
nobody how they confess they love the folks.
But every time I see Byron Donaldson talk, I could just see the little dried nut from Trump in his beard because I just.
That's the funny thing. I don't think I've ever seen him talk. So
Byron Donaldson.
Mm-mm.
Imagine diarrhea on a human. That's all they mind.
Yikes.
And y'all do know that every black male Republican is married to a white woman.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Every last one of them is married to a white woman. And Tim Scott
We know
just
who
joined
won
the club.
pants in those families, right?
Yeah.
Ain't that the part of the litmus test you gotta pass? One must marry.
Probably so.
Yeah,
Right.
my wife is white.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with marrying a white woman, but
Well, we do know that what's his name? Ben Carson, we know his wife isn't white.
and
So
she's super black.
there's
She
the
black. She collard greens black. She black.
and now we have my new favorite, Mark Robinson and Frida.
Big Frida.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that.
Ever since Greg said she looks like a Frida, I cannot get that out of my head.
Oh no!
Find out what her name actually is. I don't know.
She looked like she walk around with cankles too. I bet you she does.
Let me see what his wife's name is. I should.
Felicia,
line up
ain't it?
Felicia. Bye, Felicia. I
Is it
think
Felicia though?
Might be. I think after this race, it might be by Felicia.
No, it's Yolanda.
Okay.
Yolanda. That could fit.
It says Yolanda Robinson has scandals of her own. What's her scandal?
Well, she's part of that business, right?
Is that what they're talking about?
I think so.
Don't mess with my yo-yo. I can't wait. She run around singing.
Something about Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Something about Girl Scouts.
She stole money from the Girl Scouts. A whore. A whole
I thought they had some sort of nonprofit that they were accused of. Stealing.
If
I
that
wonder how their two kids feel.
How old are their kids, Cream? I mean, Swag. Is he froze?
No, I'm not froze.
No.
Good look though. You're like,
Let me see. How old are their children? Let me see.
I think they're maybe high school age, I think.
Ooh, they can't go nowhere.
Because they're only in their 50s, so they're probably not that old.
Lord, please let them.
Let's see.
I can't find nothing on the cheering.
Well, he has two kids, Kimberly Robinson, who is married and has children, and Dason Robinson.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really say how old they are. But I mean, they're not nowhere
in the media.
Yeah.
They did a good job of hiding them from the media.
I bet you they embarrassed like a motherfucker.
Okay, so his daughter must be about my age because they say she graduated high school in 1986, so she must be like in her 50s then.
Who, the daughter?
Wait, that can't be true because Mark Robinson is. I mean, the mother is only 56.
That must be Yolanda. Yolanda must be that.
Yes. Okay. I was about to say, what, did she get pregnant? Did she get pregnant in preschool? Come on now.
You know they don't believe in abortion, probably so.
Didn't she have a couple already?
Yeah, the kids are pretty much hidden from
right
the media.
Thank God.
But I think they do attend North Carolina A&T though. I think.
What?
Yeah, I think they do.
They hang out with black folks? What? I can't believe it.
I bet you they'd be like, my mother was a single mother. I don't know who my daddy is.
Man.
Be like, girl, we see you in the commercial.
Yeah, it looks like they did. It looks like they did defraud the Girl Scouts.
Damn.
They wrote a bad check.
How you get in
But
trouble with the Girl Scouts? Like, come on.
They wrote a
Girl
bad
Scouts-
check
money.
for how much, John?
okay, Guilford County Small Claims Court over money owed after she gave them a bad check for $2,956. The magistrate ruled in favor of the Girl Scouts and ordered Robinson to pay $4,000 to cover fees and damages.
Wow.
They probably have her face up like, do not sell cookies to this woman.
Did she buy $3,000 for Girl Scout cookies? Oh, yo, do better, yo. Come on, yo.
Robinson and her husband have filed bankruptcy on three separate occasions. They lost their home to foreclosure. They lost their daycare business to foreclosure. And in 2012, they were evicted from their rental home, failing to pay a $2,000 rent.
Damn.
Too bad. Womp womp.
That's when they lived over by your cousin.
You do
Must
have to
be.
get elected lieutenant governor, don't you?
He did. He
That's what I'm
did
saying.
get
Well,
elected.
what's up with North
And I
Carolina?
am trying to figure that out because I had never heard of him.
With North Carolina.
I had never heard of him until this
Wait,
run
but
for
you were a North Carolina voter. You never heard of him?
Hold on.
I never
They
heard of
done been busy. They also defrauded the Child and Adult Care Food Program in North Carolina. They defrauded the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and they owed them $132,000 following a compliance review of her nonprofit. Lord, and y'all still
That's
want him
what I
to be
heard
governor.
about. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
And that wasn't dispositive of them becoming governor. It wasn't until
right,
the second that came.
exactly, because ever since that other scandal came out, it's like, did they not vet him? It's like, no, they did, and they were okay with all that stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't until
They
he like
don't
tranny porn.
care.
that-
It's like we keep saying, it's the cruelty. The cruelty is the point. It's like, yeah, you're not a great candidate. Like, there's nothing endearing about you, but you definitely got the cruelty part down.
And they both took out PPP loan, the amount of $57,000.
How much you bet they haven't paid them back? Of
They were
course
forgiven.
have.
They were forgiven.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
She gave herself a $28,000 raise in 2020 when their company Balanced Nutrition's revenue rose from $950,000 to $1.3 million. In her tax filings for Balanced Nutrition in 2021 and 2022, Robinson failed to list the salaries of their top employees, including herself, and failed to acknowledge that family members were key company employees as required by. How the hell he got to be for lieutenant governor with all this shit?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
was he on the ballot?
You know what? What I do need to find out. I'm gonna call my cousin back and ask, because my cousin's wife, she loves being a daycare worker. I need to find out, did she ever work for her? Like, that would be interesting to find out.
No, I think it's true though. I think people liked him for his cruelty. He's probably worse than Trump as far as like his rhetoric.
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. So they liked him and they didn't really care about all the rest of that shit.
Yeah.
But North Carolina is pretty much notorious of splitting their ticket. They always seem to have a Democratic governor but a Republican legislature.
Yeah.
Because of the gerrymandering in North Carolina. It's
but
really
it
hard.
might be different this year though. They're not doing well. It's a young girl that's running the Democratic Party in North Carolina. She's like 29, and she is on
for governor.
No, the woman that runs the Democratic
Party. Yeah,
but they ended up getting a super majority this last election cycle because there was somebody that ran in Mecklenburg County. Now, Mecklenburg County is heavily Democratic. Like,
that's Charlotte, isn't it?
You're not right, exactly. She ran as a Democrat, and then as soon as she got elected, she then switched parties, which gave the Republicans a super majority. And people in Mecklenburg County were pissed. So I doubt she's gonna get reelected in Mecklenburg County, huh?
Right.
And they can recall her, can they?
No.
Oh, y'all don't got that.
They wanted to, but there was no way to do
Hey,
that.
John, did you know Margarine is running for the Senate?
She's trying to run for the Senate. They're suggesting she run for Senate. I got a call from John Ossoff's campaign. Say, please sign a petition to keep her off. It's just suggested. She hasn't said anything yet. It's just suggested.
Let me sign that shit right now.
But John Ossoff, she's challenging John Ossoff. He's already getting ahead of this and already reaching out to people because, like I said, he done called me twice and I done got text messages.
But his phone looking ass, why would they want Margin over him? Like he's a little kid.
She can't win statewide. Sorry.
She not gonna win statewide.
No, she can't win. They gonna eat her ass up. Not with these demographics.
Yeah.
Next,
maybe she'll get control of that weather machine and make it happen.
I love those too. It's like,
yeah, but John Ossoff is all over it. He's already sending out stuff and doing stuff already. So, nah, we don't want bleach bad built body as senator. No.
So I have a question about real quick. I have a question about the Senate. Do you? I have a really good feeling that we're gonna maintain it and get the House back.
What seats will we pick up? I mean, you gotta pick up a couple seats.
I think we're gonna keep Arizona. I think Maryland's looking good to keep. I think we're gonna pick up Texas to replace.
But aren't we gonna lose Tester in what's that?
Oh, he's looking better. Tester's looking he's
still down now.
I get that we may retake the House, but we have to keep the Senate as well.
No, I was just talking about the Senate.
Is it still not looking good to keep the Senate?
Tester's looking okay. Already's looking okay. Maryland, she's looking okay. I think Nebraska, we're ahead. It's a seat in Nebraska that's Trump is dragging down. And the only reason it's looking okay because they have that one place in Nebraska with that one electoral vote. That's in the district. So
it's a tough map. But it is true that Trump is very unpopular, and so that does tend to drag down other.
I didn't realize, honestly, until VP Harris started making him small. You know what I mean? I didn't realize how unpopular and small he is. You know what I mean? Because at first, through whatever it was, he seemed insurmountable. It was like, oh, he's the big bad bully. We can never beat him. But when they came in and started making him small, even Hillary couldn't do that. You know what I mean? It was just like he was this big bad juggernaut. You know what I mean?
I think one of the funniest things I saw this week was Harris just said, roll the tape.
Yep, she did it yesterday. She did it again yesterday, Malcolm.
It was a pretty good highlight reel of the egregious shit he was just saying about, like, he's talking about you. He's talking about sending the military after you.
Right. So yesterday she spoke
calling you Marxists and communists and shit.
Yeah. Yesterday she spoke to the AEU auto industry. She wrote a different one where he said that the children can put together cars. Fuck unions, you know what I mean? And the other unions that didn't endorse her are looking really stupid because she's starting to run clips. And I don't know why nobody thought about that before, but that's what the fuck I would do. Be like, roll that beautiful bean footage. Let it roll.
All you need is like really 2 to 3 minutes of him just saying horrible shit. Like,
exactly.
And I think
people try to like pawn it off as him joking. But it's like, even if he's joking, like, why would you want to elect someone who's joking about this shit?
That's always the excuse. That's always the excuse. Anytime they catch him saying some crazy stuff like that, it's always like, oh, he was just joking. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that. It's like, we don't need a president who jokes so much. Like, if we needed somebody who, if we wanted to hear jokes, we'd go see a comedian. That shouldn't be the guy running.
So for Margarine, who suggested that she run for Senate was Trump, and he said he will fight like hell for her to be in the Senate. It's not until 2026, but I think that's all encompassed on if he wins the presidency, and he will do it. So
I was gonna say, how's he gonna fight for her in jail?
Y'all
Right.
on fire today, boy. Y'all on fire today.
But her response to it was, she said it was so nice of him to say that. I haven't given it a thought yet, but I'm looking into it. So
that don't make sense. You ain't thinking about it, but you're looking into it.
Go right on ahead and do that.
Oh, real quick question before we close Patreon. How do we feel about the presidential? Where are we? I'm gonna start with Fitzhugh. Where how you feeling? Confident, not confident? How you feeling?
I'm feeling confident in that she is, I think, winning the news cycles. And if she continues to do that through election day, it'll bring more people out. And that's where it needs to be.
So her milkshake brings all the people to the polls. I like it. Double J, how you feeling about the presidential race?
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
I can't really call it. It's too close. I can't really call it because just like there's Democrats that ain't saying yay or nay what they're going to do, there are also Republicans that say yay or nay. So it's all going to come down to that night that we're all going to be in front of television. So I'm hoping for the best, but I'm prepared for the worst. I'm now more concerned with, like I said, regaining the House and keeping the Senate, because if she's going to make some type of change, she's going to need both of those chambers to do it.
I went on down and voted blue just because I want to see that old yummy ass, what's his name? Speaker of the House. Hakeem Jeffries. Yes, Lord have mercy. I can just imagine him talking like
Jay-Z. Speaking of that, so let me ask you this: if the Democrats do retain the Senate, do y'all think it should remain Chuck Schumer as the
No.
Or should they change to be the majority leader?
They should change the majority leader. He's too old. His pants too high. They looking saggy in the back like he's shit on the side. It's too much.
But I mean, he's likely not going to change. I mean,
I don't think he's going to change.
Well, I think Nancy's gonna. I think Nancy gonna do him. She already said it's time for a change across the board. She said it last week on a news show, and that means Chuck, you is out, baby. Clyburn out. All them niggas out. She gonna make all them niggas retire. I'm telling you right now. Nancy's not playing. She's like, the party we made Joe sit down. I sat down. Now everybody got to sit down. I think that's how it goes. Malcolm, how do you feel about the race?
I feel good about the fundamentals. Like Harris has a good campaign. She has good media presence.
Okay.
Trump is declining, but honestly I'm still anxious about it just because I see how there isn't any logic to Trump supporters. There's really no arguing for them. They just like him.
Well, let's just hope the turnout remains high. And I didn't say this during the show, but I don't know why they want to set up to blame things on black men, but if her effort fails, it would be white women and white men to make her fail. It wouldn't be us. We still vote at higher rates, and in 2022 and in 16, Trump got the plurality of white women and white men. So we're talking. I mean, it was pre Dobbs. But I think Dobbs might move a couple of percentage points for white women, but I still don't trust them, and I don't know we're gonna end up there. Swag, last but not least, how do you feel about the race, homie?
I feel good. I was a little nervous at the beginning, but the more that comes out, the more interviews she does, the way she's running her campaign, the way they're making Trump look, I'm feeling better and better about it. As you know, our buddy Portia went to go vote, and she was pleased to see how many black men were in line. So
Yeah.
she feels like, she basically feels like it's a good turnout.
So
I'm-
speaking of that, friend, in that group I was in, it's about 15 black men on the call, and they really felt, they was like, I don't know where they're getting this from. You know what I mean? And they were like, all 15 of them was like, fuck that. This motherfucker said we are, they went on down the list, the litany of things that he said. Even the young brothers, the couple of young brothers that was on the call, and they're like, every fucking election season, here they come. They losing Hispanic vote, they losing black vote. And no, right. What does they Fitz? It's the same thing every fucking season. Okay, it's the same thing every season, and we losing the vote. We losing the vote. We ain't losing shit. They want to think that we're losing that, so they can claim some type of false victory, and it's just awful. It's just awful. Now, with that said, I will see y'all on Monday.
All right.
John on the phone. Look at him.
Peace out.
Peace. Hey, hold on, don't.